They had no idea she earned $40,000. Every month, what happened next left them speechless. Mrs. Ifeoma wasn't just living simply in Garki, she was invisible by design. While her colleagues arrived at the corporate headquarters in Central, business district in Range Rovers and Mercedes G-Wagons, she took Danfo buses. While they wore Gucci and Hermes to board meetings, she wore Ankara from Woos Market. Her office nickname was the Velvet Hammer, soft-spoken, but able to shut down a failing division with 3 sentences. CEOs in London, Johannesburg, and Dubai had her on speed dial. But in her neighborhood, the security guard thought she was a cleaner at the same company, where she sat on the executive board. After her husband died 12 years ago, she made a promise at his graveside. "I will teach our son the value of a naira before he ever sees a million." She'd watch too many privileged children turn into entitled adults. Her love language wasn't gifts, it was character building. Her phone rang and it was her son Chidi. "Mum, there's something I need to tell you." Chidi's voice was different, distant, like he was reading from a script. "I'm getting married. Her name is Elena. Her family is, well, they're very successful. Very sophisticated." Then came the words that cut deeper than any knife. "Mum, please. Just come looking normal. Maybe borrow Auntie Ngozie's good rapper? And please don't talk too much about, money matters. I told them you're retired now." This wasn't the first betrayal. 2 years ago, Chidi had forgotten to invite her to his company's gala where he received an award because he was ashamed of her old Nokia phone while his colleagues had iPhones. That night, Ifeoma sat alone in her small parlor, staring at a photo from Chidi's university. Graduation, the one Chidi paid for in full, in cash, without him ever knowing the tuition was $45,000 per year. She'd told him it was a government scholarship. She made her decision. They want to see a poor woman? I'll give them the performance of a lifetime. Dinner was scheduled. Ifeoma arrived at Cilantro Restaurant in Maitama, looking like she'd just come from the village. But here's the twist. Everything was calculated. The faded wrapper? Authentic vintage Ankara worth N? 500,000 from a 1970 SS collection they just didn't know. The old canvas bag? It contained documents that could buy the restaurant. The worn shoes? Handmade leather from Italy, aged deliberately. The restaurant host looked at her with visible disgust. "Madam, are you sure you're in the right place? Maybe you're looking for Mr. Biggs?" Before Ifeoma could respond, Elena rushed over, her face a mask of horrified embarrassment. "Oh, Mom, you came. Not you made it, or so glad to see you. Just you came, like an unfortunate accident. If you've watched till this point, thank you kindly like. Leave a heart and tell us where you're watching from." When they offered her $700 to disappear from her own son's life. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notify button for our new videos. Thank you so much. Richard and Catherine weren't just wealthy, they were weaponized wealthy. Catherine examining her nails. "Elena, darling, you didn't mention your mother-in-law would be joining us tonight." The pause before mother-in-law hung in the air like a bad smell. Richard, without looking up from his phone. "So, Mrs. Ifeoma, is it? What is it you do exactly?" Chidi mentioned something about administrative work. When the waiter handed Ifeoma the menu, Catherine snatched it away. "Oh, let me help you, dear. These menus can be so confusing. The prices are in dollars, you see. Why don't I just order for you? Maybe the soup? It's only 45s. Ifeoma smiled softly, playing her role perfectly. "Thank you, Ma. You are very kind. I'm not used to this kind of place." Catherine's smile was venomous with satisfaction. Richard asked, "So, Mrs. Ifeoma, where exactly do you work?" Ifeoma responded, "Oh, just one small office in the central area." Catherine asked, "And you've lived in Garki all these—" "Never thought to." "Upgrade?" Ifeoma answered, "The rent is manageable. And 200,000 a year. Truth is, she owned the entire building, worth N180 million. Throughout the dinner, Elena said nothing. Didn't defend her future mother-in-law. Didn't stop her parents. She just sat there, occasionally glancing at Chidi with looks that said, "I told you this was a mistake." After the main course, Catherine pulled out an envelope. "Mrs. Ifeoma, Richard and I have talked, and we want to help you. We know things have been difficult. So, we're prepared to give you $700 every month. For your needs. She slid the envelope across the table like she was feeding a stray dog. But darling, we need you to understand. Chidi and Elena will be very busy building their life. International travel, society events. It would be best if you gave them space. Perhaps you could visit. Twice a year? On holidays? Richard added. Think of it as early retirement. You've done your job as a mother. Now let us take it from here. Chidi looked down at his plate. He said nothing. That silence. That was the moment Ifeoma felt her heart crack. Not at the in-laws' cruelty, but at her son's cowardice. Ifeoma set down her